Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from Intergalactic Installs. My name is Aaron. Today we are going over another commission. This is the Pong Krell Saber Staff from SaberBay. So as I said, this is a commission. Thank you very much to the customer for providing all of the components, chassis, install components, everything. Much appreciated. That is not required, but it was nice to have everything so that as soon as it showed up, I could kind of hit the ground running and get working on this thing. So this is, like I said, a Saber staff. So you press these two buttons here, and I don't even think the whole thing's going to show up on screen, but this turns into a staff. So this is two separate installs. There are two chassis, one on either end. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep it closed up just so I can show everything off on screen at the same time. But this is installed with a Proffie V2 on one side and a Proffie V3 on the other side. So to get to your chassis, you're going to remove the emitters here. So I'm going to do this for both of them. Just going to easily move this out. Sometimes the button can catch, the single button can catch on the actual plunger button here. So just go easy when you're removing these. But this is the Proffie V3. So we can set this guy down here and then remove the Proffie V2. So these are installed the same exact way. We can set this aside up here. These are installed the same way. You have a Proffie V3, you have an 18650 battery here, kill switch, single button here. There's a crystal chamber here. There's a 22mm speaker buried up under here, so it faces towards this crystal chamber. It is still covered up by your emitter here, so okay sound, not crazy high quality sound coming from this thing just by the design of the hilt, but it is overall, it sounds fine. So like I said, battery here, so your positive is towards the emitter and your negative is the spring side here. So we can install this here, flip up our kill switch, and then these have the same exact font. This is the Pong Krell font from Kyberphonic. I have one set up green, the other set up as blue, but you know, the color change, the color change feature, you can set these to whatever you want. Actually, I might be wrong there. Yeah, so there's two fonts, the same exact font, and one font is blue, one font is green, same exact sound. But you do have twist on for both. Single press is your blaster blocks. A hold and a clash is your lockup. Click, two clicks, and then hold on the second click. So click hold is your lightning block. There are quotes with a long press, and then or force powers. Hold it for a long press for retraction, or you have twist off as well. So kill switch again, down will kill the power, and then same thing here. So and then you go to the blue font. So just for the purposes of the install, oh, I killed this one. One's green, one's blue. So to put these into the Saber, just go easy with it. Like I said, we don't want to shear off the single button, but this will screw in. So one thing I will say about this is the Proffie V2 chassis, because of the way the threads kind of line up, this is your blade retention screw here, and it does come with the two Allen keys that came with the kit. So the larger Allen key is going to be used for your blade retention here. Because of the way the threading works out, for some reason, the button or the blade retention does not line up perfectly with the the uppermost portion of this arc. That's okay. It's still set up to work fine. Despite that, you can see the kind of blade effects here. That's fine, even though it doesn't line up, and it's going to work on both ends. So even though it doesn't line up, it's going to line up incorrectly on both ends of the saber. And then the Proffie V3 does line up where that blade retention is directly lined up with the edge here, the uppermost portion of this arc. That's fine. If it ever needs adjustment, I can show you on this one. You are able to slightly rotate this bottom chassis from the upper portion. It is a tight fit. It's kind of all pressed together by this upper housing here. So you are able to slightly rotate it as needed. And one thing you can do to verify that is if you install it and the button isn't clicking because of how it's spun or something, you can back this button off, make sure it's lined up, the button is directly beneath this button, and then screw it back on, and then it should click fine. But it does work the same way on both, so we should be okay. So I'll put this one in here as well. Again, just go easy. If you tighten up any, I can show you here, if you tighten up any of these other set screws here, this one is just tight enough so that it doesn't kind of cock the bottom of the chassis over. If you torque this one down, it might either get lost in this kind of area here or push the chassis down so that it doesn't really align, and then it's bumping on the inside of the hilt as you rotate it down. So I would just leave those as is and only really rotate this if you absolutely have to get the button to line up. And if that doesn't work at first, if it doesn't line up at first, you could try the other side of the hilt, but it should line up fine on both. Just wanted to kind of give that disclaimer there. But again, rotate this in, it should go in fine. And then I can show you here, this is the Proffie V3 side, and it'll line up directly in line or even a little bit to the left, but the button does still work. So we have green here, we have green here as well. So if we retract this for the purpose of this video, we'll set it to blue. It's the same kind of spinning animation here. So we have our two halves here moving, and then I'll show you that they work with a blade. So if we come in here, I'm not going to torque this down, but you can tell that's blade works. We'll retract it, and then same thing with the other side here. So I do have one 1-inch blade. This is a 1-inch blade. I have one that doesn't actually fit. So depending on the tightness of your blades, you may have to sand it a little bit just to get it to work with this chassis. I'm not sure if you tried it before you sent it my way. But that's really it. So single button saber, it's using FET263's prop. So whatever he has programmed for that. To change volume, I think you hold, hit the saber, and then you can rotate it and it'll increase or decrease your volume. You did not want the voice pack here. There isn't one for Krell, but even still, so a little bit tough to go through some of the edit mode menus, but most of the one button prop features work. I'm not sure how much you're into the programming or anything, but any questions, definitely feel free to let me know. So to kill it, to kill power, we'll just have to remove both hilts. Oh, there is one music track too. So when the saber is not ignited, if you hold for 1 second, sorry, that'll change the font. Double click is your music track. You'll click it once to confirm it, and then you can double click to turn it off. That's on both, same font, same song. But yeah, so that's really it. So this is going in kind of a heartbeat pattern. You have this spinning and it kind of ramps up when you ignite the saber. That's for both blue and green settings. You're able to access your SD card with, I use angle tweezers for that, and then your micro USB. I use an angled one to access this. This can slide out and lift up. I wouldn't do that. Personally, I think it's safer and easier just to not mess up any of the wiring to use one of these angle micro USBs, but that's just me. Nothing on the bottom side. Again, the speaker is up here, but that's really it. So we'll kill power on both of these and wrap this up. So same thing on the other side here. Again, thank you very much for supplying all of the components. It is not required, but it did help kind of get this thing moving right off the bat. Kill power here. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy. If there's any questions, definitely feel free to let me know. That's been the install for this Pong Krell Lightsaber. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you.